A Scottsdale nurse is facing multiple felony charges, accused of injecting patients with Botox and weight loss drugs for a doctor who has no medical license here in Arizona. Investigators with the state attorney general's office say that the nurse, 25-year-old Alexandria Baguette, seen here on the clinic's website, offered injections to an undercover agent and was arrested. Dr. Daniel Levy, a physician from Washington State, opened the Scottsdale clinic last month. He did not respond to our request for comment. So joining me once again for a legal deep dive is criminal defense attorney Josh Kolsrud. Okay, what about Dr. Levy? Will he face any charges in this?
Well, he's kind of like the puppet master here. He's the doctor that represented himself as a licensed physician here in Arizona. And when another nurse who wasn't charged confronted him, he didn't back away. He didn't self-reflect and be like, maybe I shouldn't open up a practice where it would be illegal for me to do so. Right. But he did so anyway. Yeah. And once he did that, once he crossed state lines and communicated with Ms. Baguette across state lines, it became a federal offense. And this could very easily turn into a multi-state federal offense for Dr. Levy, again, who appears to be the man behind the curtain here.
What could he face?
Oh, he could face up to 20 years in prison.
Wow.
Yep, for wire fraud and for the fraud schemes that he's been involved with. The federal sentencing scheme is much harsher with this type of fraud than the state does.
So what about his practice in Bellevue, Washington? I mean, would his license be revoked there, or what happens in that situation?
It very well could be. The doctors have an association very similar to what lawyers have. Right. And ethics is a huge part of it, because ethics and medicine go together like, currency. And when you betray the trust of your patients, and in particular, if you're convicted and accused of fraud dealing with the medical industry, I don't see how he's not going to keep his license.
Well, and that's what's so odd, is that he already has a license, apparently in Washington. You would think, how hard is it to get here in Arizona? Why not do the same thing and, obviously have everything be legal?
Well, it takes work, and you have to pass the board here, and he didn't want to do that. He saw money, he saw opportunity, and he thought this would be an easy payday. Yeah. And he got away with it. I mean, the nurse involved in this case, it's a tragic story. This young lady worked her entire life to become a nurse. She joined an elite profession as an RN and threw it all away. For nothing. Yeah. And, but she was part of this scheme. She was practiced. And when the detective visited her, she provided him with 3 syringes, just like giving him a bag of groceries, almost like it was practice. Like this type of behavior had become so normal for her that it was not a big deal to do what she did in this case.
Right. And when they're practicing without a license, I mean, what about the patients? What if you don't know exactly what was in those syringes technically, right? I mean, there could be complications.
So it's not just what's in the syringes, but it's how it's injected into the patient. There's so many factors that you need an experienced and licensed physician or physician's assistant or whatever the licensing board says. And those conditions are there for a reason. Right. And when you betray the trust of the community, the law comes down like a hammer.
All right, Josh, great insight on all 3 cases. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?